Hi, welcome to the first episode of Behind the Brand by Maisie Moss. If you don't know, I'm Maisie. I'm really excited to have the first guest on the first episode of the podcast, the lovely Miss Bethan Sowerby. If you don't know, me and Bethan have been friends for years, so it was only right that she was the first guest on this series. So we asked you guys to send in a few questions over Instagram. We've also, I've come up with a few questions myself that I think you guys would be really interested to hear about. Bethan's a powerhouse in the industry in terms of modelling, content creation. So yeah, we're hoping that this is just going to be a really fun, casual series, especially for the first episode. So let's get into it. And so a few of you may know Bethan from Britain's Next Top Model. I think it kind of was a propeller in your career to becoming the model that you are. So the first question that we've been sent in is, how long ago were you on Britain's Next Top Model?
Oh my god, it was a while ago now. It was 6 years, like this month. Which
is wild.
Yeah, and makes me really scared about how old we actually are.
I know. Well, we were having a conversation off camera about because we met in college, and it was not long after that you were in college. Were you still in college when you?
No, because I was considering going to uni, wasn't I? That was it. Ended up doing Next Top Model instead of going to uni, which is a bit wild.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had done the same thing, to be honest. But yeah, that's mad.
So college was like. No, college must have been 7 years ago then. Maybe Next Top Model was longer then. A long time, basically. It was a long time ago.
And obviously, in that time, in those 6 years, whatever it is, you've had an unbelievable kind of peak into your career, and there's been so much has happened since then.
I feel like so much has gone on, and like I feel like I've changed so much the person, like year by year, like everything that I've gone through. I feel like even my career, like now compared to then, has just changed so much.
Well, I think as well as you change as a person, that also changes the approach you
take to
career, the work you take on.
One of the main things that I've noticed is my confidence. Like, and obviously do feel like that comes a lot with age as well. Because I feel like as you get older, you just get more confident anyway. But like, it's mad how much experience in the modelling industry can make you so much more confident, which I guess that's in any kind of like career, but I feel like I've noticed recently how much more confident and sure I am in myself going into jobs compared to like probably 4 years ago. Yeah,
and I think also being kind of thrown into the industry at what is quite a young age, and it's so weird now to look back at it, because obviously what everybody else won't know is that I didn't know.
No.
So one of my best friends was just not texting me back for like, how long?
No, do you know what was the maddest thing is? Obviously I had my birthday in there, so everyone's texting me like happy birthday, and like some people would text my mum like, it's Bethan.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you'd fallen out with me, and I was like, what have I done? Why is she just completely airing me for months? Literally, we're not talking 2 weeks here, we're talking a long time. But then obviously after it happened, watching it and watching you.
I remember telling you.
Yeah,
I remember telling you.
Actually, you told me on Halloween in my flat, and I was literally, I think my response was something along the lines of "shut the fuck up."
Yeah,
like, I was like, you're lying.
Yeah, you're like, surely not. Is that where you've been?
Yeah. The whole way through, even though kind of, I think you told me where you'd like placed in the competition, the whole way through I was going, she's lying, she's won, and she's keeping.
That was mad, isn't it? Oh, she has so much faith in me.
No, you were the best by far, like obviously I'm biased, but you were, and me and my mum were watching it like, she's lying, she's won, she's definitely won. And then when you got knocked out, we literally sat there like that. And we were like, oh, she's been cheating.
No.
So the next question actually is a good one leading on from that is, do you feel that Britain's Next Top Model helped propel your career, or do you think it had the opposite effect?
I do feel like it did propel me, because I feel like it obviously gives you, I feel like Instagram back then, it was still a big thing, but it wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
But it obviously gave me a following on Instagram, which is crazy, but that does actually help you nowadays in the modelling world. So I feel like it was more that, and obviously you kind of like, more people know of who you are because a couple of people are watching it, or someone might be like, oh, you're watching that Next Top Model, or blah, 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 and then this person's following me, and then it started to like, I got over 10k, and it started to just grow and grow and grow, and I feel like I was getting really good feedback, like when I was actually watching it back, and obviously I was getting loads of messages and like DMs and stuff, and I feel like it just gave me that little push, I think. And like the confidence thing, like I said earlier, I feel like because it did push me a little bit like into the industry properly, it was kind of a bit like, right, okay, now I've got to be confident.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like growing up, I wasn't very confident.
I
feel like
really
I was quite shy, wasn't I? Like, with my friends and stuff, I was always like confident, but in social situations, like I was always like more of a quieter one. And I think, I honestly do believe that Next Top Model like helped me grow as a person. Like, I feel like it helped me be like, right, okay, you need to grow up a little bit and you need to get a little bit of balls, basically. And I feel like then it obviously, I just think it gave me that little extra push. But I do feel like, not to take it away from myself, but I do feel like then my hard work after that is what has made me get to here. I think it gave me that first little push. I honestly feel like the Instagram following and people kind of being aware a little bit of who you are does help.
Well, it's a different world nowadays, isn't it? There's obviously, you have these amazing supermodels, you know, the Gigi's, the Bellas, the whatever, but they still do, you know, sponsorships on Instagram and stuff like that. The industry that we're in is, I think that kind of, you know, if you go back, you know, a decade or whatever, and you talk about the Kate Mosses and the Naomi Campbells of the industry, people wanted the kind of untouchable top model, she's almost not real type thing, whereas the whole world has shifted into, we want, even if you are a model, we want you to feel like you're my best friend, or you live in the girl that lives next door,
oh my god,
whatever, and they want to see this real side of you. It's
so different, and I feel like that's why the Instagram comes into it so much, because clients can now see a bit more of you and oh right, okay, how you connect with like your Instagram following and how do you portray yourself on. It's honestly so mad. Like, I think I remember going down to London, so this is like between probably Next Top Model and right now, there was a time where I went down to London to go and see agencies and, you know, try and get signed by a London agency, and on the form at the bottom it said Instagram following, and it was the first time I'd seen it. This was obviously a few years ago, but I was like, what the hell? Like, that is mad that I actually need to put how many followers I've got. That's normal now. Like,
so back to the NTM and it propelling your career, do you think it helped you get jobs? Do you think you'd have...
Yeah, I think it definitely did. Like, do you know what was crazy? So, the winner of Next Top Model got a campaign with a makeup brand. And then after I came out, the makeup brand booked me for a campaign.
So you'd have got it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, which is great. I know, which is so mad. So I think, like, I look at things like that and I think, no, it did help me, because that brand probably wouldn't have known who I was if I wasn't on that TV show. They obviously, you know, collaborated with Next Top Model, saw me and actually just booked me through my model agency.
Well, that's the credit to your abilities as well.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, it was so flattering. Like, in that moment, I was like, oh my god.
So the next question is, what's your favourite thing about being a model? And then on the flip side of that, what would be kind of the worst thing or like the biggest bugbear around?
Do you know what I love about it is, like, but you can kind of get this in any job, is like going to work and just meeting so many people. Like, there's so many people on set. You've got a photographer, a stylist, sometimes there's multiple stylists, sometimes there's production team, sometimes, and I think meeting people in the industry is lovely. And I think, like, obviously there's always like a bit of an ego boost when you go on a job and they love you. Like, it is such a good feeling. Like, there's nothing worse than getting on a job and you kind of just not really giving them what they want. But I do believe there's not a lot, but there's quite a lot of negatives to being a model. I don't think it is as incredible as everyone kind of perceives as this, oh my god, being a model, like, it's a very shallow industry. Like, you don't get booked because someone doesn't like the way that you look. You have to have a tough skin, like,
which is probably why the validation is so important.
Like going on a job and feeling like you've done a good job and they like you. It is like, okay, like, I've smashed today, I've done well, and like they book you again, and that's great.
Because your whole job is dependent on somebody liking the way you look.
And also the way that you work. Like I said, with the experience and the confidence, like, I feel like I've come on so much, like being able to move, being able to know what your angles are, thinking, oh, that's not a good angle, I'm not going to do that again, or, you know. And I think it's nice when you get like a regular client. So like, I was working for Misguided for ages, and I loved that. That was like a real big goal of mine, I'd say, and I loved it. When I got that, I was literally like, I got Misguided. I loved Misguided as a brand, and I think then it got to a point where like they weren't booking me as much. And it hurts, like there's a little part of it, like I worked with them for a long time, so it was great, I had a good run of it, but you know, it got to a point where they got a little bit quieter. I mean, we all know why now, but they got quieter, and you know, they weren't booking me as much, and you question yourself, like, am I not good enough? And I think that is something that anyone who actually thinks, oh, I want to be a model, like, it's incredible, and there's so many perks, and you know, you can earn good money, and you know, if you love it and enjoy it, it is good, but you've got to know that there's another side to it, that if you don't get booked, sometimes it can feel a bit like a bit of a kick in the teeth. And
do you think also with the industry evolving in terms of becoming more inclusive, i.e. all shapes and sizes, you know, anyone essentially can be a model nowadays. There's the likes of obviously Pretty Little Thing that have had different shapes and people from all walks of life doing Broadway and stuff. Do you think maybe that's even had a detrimental effect on, you know, your typical model, the pretty girl, the tall,
I think like
pretty girl?
I know what you mean, like I do understand, but I feel like it's for the better though. I do feel like it's definitely for the better, like you don't have to be stick thin anymore like that. Like when you think about that now, that sounds so silly. You had to, it's still like that in places in the world, like I know that like New York and stuff like that, even though they are still inclusive, like they still love that tall model look, and I love seeing brands like for instance, the first one that pops into my head is like lounge underwear. They honestly, I feel like they have smashed it. Like I love the way that they use every shape and size, because you can see, like, it's not like, right, okay, so what's that going to look like on me? Even to this, like, certain extent of, like, different skin tones or different hair colours. Like, you know, if I'm going on a website and someone's got a dark hair, maybe I'd be like, what's that going to look like on me? And then you see that blonde model and you think, okay, well, I can relate to her a little bit. And I think that is so good that the world has changed in that way.
I think there's so much to be said psychologically for buyers, especially in the fashion industry, of if she doesn't look like me, then I'm going to struggle to buy that because I can't see myself in it, especially for an underwear brand. You know, if you're a slightly curvier girl and all the underwear is photographed on a really thin, tall model, you're going to be less inclined to buy it. And it only makes sense for brands to be more inclusive with their models, because, you know, as a byproduct, people are going to buy it, or more people are going to buy it because they can see themselves in the product. So the next question is your most exciting career moment, other than Miami Swim, which was obviously a big, I know was a massive milestone for you, because you'd always wanted to do swim, and it's the biggest swim runway
in the world.
In the world, unbelievable. So that was obviously amazing. But any other kind of big career moments that you gave yourself kind of a big pat on the back for?
I feel like there's been a couple along the way, but which one would I say? I would obviously say Swim Week is like the biggest one. I did a Remington campaign.
Oh, I remember that.
That was actually like a few years ago, and it was filmed like in New York, and I was kind of like running through Times Square. It was freezing cold, by the way, but not like the UK cold, like it was minus 15 degrees Celsius. It was so cold. I had these little heels and this little strappy dress on. I had to like run through Times Square and like look back, and I feel like that's freezing. I remember at one point I had to put like one of the team had a pair of Ugg boots, and she literally, because she was sat in the van, she gave me her Ugg boots, and we just did all like the crop shots from like here upwards because it got that bad. Because I remember going through like a puddle and all my foot was wet. It was mad. But I feel like that is like one that I still look at now and I think, God, that was amazing. Like that was so good. I remember going to the casting, like I remember it so clearly, and there was so many girls there. And it's weird, I was talking to my boyfriend about this the other day, like telling him all about it, and I was like, there's so many people there. And I remember, I was with you. Oh my God, no, Maisie, I was with you when I got the phone call saying that I got the job.
Oh, you were?
Do you remember?
Oh my God.
You were in my kitchen. Yeah, we were jumping down in the kitchen.
I forgot that.
Yeah, because I was telling my boyfriend the other day, and I said to him, I was like, and I was with Maisie when I got the call, and I seen my booker flash up, and I thought, why is she calling me?
Oh my God, I literally remember.
Do you remember? And she went, you got it. And I think that was so rewarding. I was like, I can't believe it. And at this point, like I knew that they were maybe going to film it in New York, so I was like, this is going to be incredible. So yeah, I'd say that, or I'd actually say, so I recently did a job with H&M, but it was actually more like I was booked more as an influencer, and I think that was really rewarding.
Yeah,
I think like, you know, I'm trying to move my Instagram more towards, you know, making sure I'm posting plenty of outfits. I want outfit inspo on there, I want fashion, like that is what I want to inspire. And I think to get booked alongside some of the most amazing influencers like C. Roddy, Yasmin Chanel, Laws and Gigi, the sisters, and I literally was like, have I seriously been booked alongside these people? And I think it was just so rewarding because I've been trying a lot more with my Instagram, and I said this to you, like Maisie's a major inspo every single day. Like, her Instagram and everything, I'm always like, oh, you're so cool, like teach me. But I am trying to be like a little bit more fashiony on my Instagram and, you know, give people outfit inspo.
And it's a household name again.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
And you're on the website.
I was on the website, yeah, and everything. It was just really, really rewarding, and I'd say that is probably was a point that I was like, oh, wow, this is really good. Like I really was buzzing.
So the next question, which I think is quite an obvious one, but we'll go with it. If you weren't a model, what would you do?
I'd be an influencer full time.
Same one, really.
Yeah, I feel like they're all kind of coming under the same umbrella now. But I honestly, like, even now, like, I'm a little bit quieter with modelling, but influencing is crazy. Yeah. And it's weird how they work like that. Like, I have a lot of collabs and stuff at the minute. And I'm just enjoying the influencing at the moment. Like, honestly, I feel like this past year, I'd say, I enjoy it so much more. Like, I love creating content. Me and Maisie did a shoot day the other day, and
it was the best day.
It went so well, and we were just like, why have we not done this sooner?
I know.
Like, why have we not used each other to our advantage so much sooner?
It makes, especially because we don't catch up often enough, so it's nice to go and do that and then have a chill.
Yeah, we got lunch. It was really nice.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
It was a really good day. But yeah, I feel like I'd probably be an influencer full time because it's still that creative industry, and it's still being able to, it's a bit more freedom than modelling, really.
Like, do you think you have a bit more independence and creative direction, because as much as you love modelling and you have a little bit of direction in terms of, you know, the way you want to frame yourself, the ideas that you have, but essentially you are being told.
Oh my god, you're a mannequin, basically.
Whereas influencing is, you know, you put your own outfits together,
your own ideas, your
concepts. The whole concept is yours.
Yeah, I feel like
if it doesn't go right, you can change it up.
That's so true. It's so true. I feel like there is a lot more creativity and a lot more freedom in influencing. I think that's something that I have learned to enjoy over the past year when I've been creating content. I've been like, wow, this actually feels so good to like think of ideas, and then it's so nice, like you'll probably like feel this as well, like when you have a concept or if a brand gives you a concept, and like it is kind of similar to what I said earlier about the modelling, but and you smash it and it all comes together, and like the brand's happy, you think, that's really good, and I came up with that kind of concept, or I came up with that idea and that location, and I wanted to do it like that. So I think it is nice to have that freedom. So I'd say I would be an influencer full time. I honestly sometimes think like, what would happen if I'd gone to uni? Like, would I have still become a model? Would I have still got into influencing? Like, I did. I was going to do fashion design at university, so I think would I have still been in the fashion industry? Definitely.
Yeah. So how does influencing compare to modelling?
I feel like we've touched on that, but I think it's more, the main thing I'd say is the creativity, like we said. Like, you can be it's so much more your own. Like, the influencing world it's your content, it's your idea, it's your location that you pick in, to a certain extent, unless obviously brands are a little bit more specific. But I think you can explore so much more, and you can create kind of like this, like portray who you are through your Instagram. Whereas modelling is very like, okay, you're going to work to be this mannequin today. It's not always like that. Some brands, it's changing, and some brands like Lounge, for instance, they love to be able to see personality in their models, rather than be like, okay, can you just stand there and wear the stuff? But I do feel like modelling is very much like, if you're just going there to do the job, to sell their product, you go, you change 50 times, you put all their items on, you go home. Like, that is it. And you know, it's a fun day, and you know, if you've got a nice team, it's nice, but it's very much more structured and a little bit more mundane. Unless, like I said, you get in the campaigns, and you know, they can be really exciting and really nice, and certain campaigns want you to show more of your personality, but I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, and I think it's essential as an influencer in terms of, especially with the way the industry's going, because it is a massively saturated industry now. I still think there's room for everyone, and I think, you know, anyone can do it, but it's literally imperative, I think, as an influencer. Well, it depends if you want to go down more of an influencing or content creation route, I suppose, because obviously there's a difference between the two. I think if you want to be an influencer, it's so essential that people are seeing your personality.
Yeah,
because
that's so true.
That's the only, you know, we touched on it before about the world being more connected and people want to get to know you. And yes, the kind of, if it is fashion or beauty or whatever it is that you want to go down, yes, people want to see the inspiration and everything else, but if they can't connect with you on a human level, there's always a disconnect, or there's a wall there at some point to as far as you can grow. And I'm the worst for it because I don't do enough on my stories or talk to people.
I was going to say, I feel like that's hard when you are more of a content creator rather than an influencer.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel safer and prefer that kind of side, because I'm very much like that. Like even this today, like, is a little bit out.
Oh, it's out of my comfort.
Yeah, like we're both like chatting away, but I think because we're friends, it's easier.
Yeah.
But like, I don't talk on my stories or anything like that, and you know, sometimes I do think, you know, should I do that, because would it be better to engage? But I think it's not me, and I think I do struggle with it, and I think sometimes that's the annoying thing about being a content creator, is you kind of struggle to have that connect with your audience, whereas I know there's so many influencers that I follow and they're always on their stories,
and I love watching it.
Yeah, bare face, no makeup, they don't give a shit, like, and they're like, right, so I bought this today and I got this today, and I'm like, it's almost like they've got like a story on their story.
It's like a little insight into their lives, and this is, we were talking about this the other day when we were shooting, this is what people want, because whether we like to admit it or not, we are so nosy. We are so nosy, and I want to know everything about people's lives. Like,
I love it.
Literally, what did you have for your tea?
Yeah.
I'm really interested. What did you have? I ask everyone what you're having for tea.
Yeah.
So I'm always interested, but like you say, I think if you want to grow as an influencer, that is so important. Definitely. I always wanted to go more down the content creation route, and even, like I say, even this is out of my comfort zone and will probably give everybody more of an insight into my personality, but it's talking about topics that I love.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier in that sense. But on the kind of difference in the industries, do you think that it's harder to become a model than it is to become an influencer, or vice versa?
Ooh. I would say it's harder to become a model because it still has that bit of a, like, looks thing.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, there is, like you said, there's a lot of brands that are more inclusive, but there's a lot of brands that I believe are still not. But then if you think about influencing, it's not easy. Like, there's so many influencers, content creators. That's why it's harder for us to all reach out to like a bigger audience now, because there is so many of us, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But I do think
it's a sense of how do you set yourself apart.
That's what I mean, and I think it's almost easier to get into because, you know, you don't need to have a huge following to be an influencer.
No.
Like, you can, like, whether you've got 500 followers or 500k followers, like, you can create content. Like, you can be this influencer content creator. You can do that, and you will grow. But I still think it's hard. I think they're both hard.
Yeah.
But I would say modeling's got that more of a stigma that's like, oh well, your looks.
Well, I think that
which is so silly.
And it is ridiculous. And I think there's probably an element to it of your career as a model is defined by other people being blockers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so true.
Whereas as an influencer, your own wall is yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can grow as far as, apart from the algorithm.
Yeah.
You can grow as much as you want to. You can post as much as you want to. You can work with as many. You choose the type of brands you want to work with. You are literally paving your own destiny. That sounds really. Woo. So then, 3 essential things to, I mean, you don't have to do 3 necessarily, just any essential things you can think of to become an influencer or a model.
Okay, you can help me with this. I feel like, I'll start off, but I feel like you can help me. To be a model, I think thick skin, I think confidence, you have to be
back yourself.
Because I think the confidence and the thick skin kind of can come in together almost.
Yeah, I've spoken about this before on like other YouTube videos that I've done or Instagram stories or whatever.
Was that your story? Maisie's clearly starving.
Yes, I've spoken about this before on Instagram and on YouTube, but I think, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it probably crosses over into both, especially for influencing, but for any kind of business place that you're in, business career networking. If you know people, it's, you know, it's the age-old saying, it's who you know, not what you know.
God, yeah.
And I think it's, you know, we've kind of moving away from that slightly as an industry. It's about what you can do, but there is still so much to be said for who you know. The contacts that I've made in the industry have put me in unbelievable positions that I probably wouldn't have been.
But then I feel like networking also comes alongside with confidence, because you've got to have the confidence to, right, okay, I've got to get out there, I've got to talk to these people.
Or even if you're not confident, fucking fake it till you make it.
Oh my God.
You have
that
to.
is what I honestly truly believe. When I came out of Next Top Model, I was like, right, okay, switch it on, right, go into a room, right, I'm confident. If I need to speak to someone that I know I can kind of like, that can help me, and I can kind of get some sort of advice or something from them, like, right, come on Bethan, you've got this. And I think doing that then builds your confidence, because you're like, okay, I've done it. I've done it a few times before. I know I've got that confidence now to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree. There's so much to be said for it, and there's so much to be said for faking it till you make it, because nobody knows what they're doing the first time. There's been so many times I've gone into a situation and thought, I don't know.
Maybe I don't know what I'm doing now. Still.
No, neither do I. So the next question was, how would you describe your personal style?
I always find this question hard.
It is hard.
I feel like maybe like street style with like a little edge.
Yeah.
Maybe a little chic kind of edge.
Yeah.
Little blazer. Like today, like I like the structure of this blazer but baggy low-waisted jeans. So I like to put them two elements together all the time. Like something kind of chill and casual and cool, but then with a bit of structure.
Yeah.
I always feel like I struggle between wanting to wear blazers all the time and be like chic, and then I always have this other side of me that just wants to be like more like baggy street style. Cool. Like I feel like I'm always like, oh, don't know which one I want. So then I feel like it's nice that you can put
I think
those
it's
together.
like, especially sometimes for like a date night look.
Ooh.
Like combining the two can be so cool.
Yeah, all I ever wear on my feet as well these days is chunky trainers.
Oh yeah.
Like thank God for my tracks. I honestly have worn them to death.
Oh, I have mine.
I looked at them the other day and thought, do I actually need to like get rid of them again? No. Because they're ruined. I love them so. They just go with everything, like trousers, jeans, a baggy tee. Like they just go with everything. Tracksuits. I feel like
like that. Mine are good. I've got thousands. No, that's an exaggeration. Lots of pairs of heels like under my bed, and they just stay there because I think, oh, I'll take them on holiday. Never gonna happen.
Never. Even on holiday, like I'll wear like a dressier outfit and I'll just put a flat on.
Yeah.
That's my style, is comfort is the key with that little edge of like a blazer or something like that.
Yeah. My thing is I always feel like I want to look like I've not made that much of an effort. But I'm really well put together. Like I'll spend all day like, which pair of cargos do I wear today? The green ones or the slightly not green ones? You know, like the shade variations. Like my mum goes into my dressing room and she's like, you have like 17 beige blazers, and I'm like, yeah, but one's like slightly
one's short,
differently.
One's got like more shoulder pads, and one's a bit more boxy.
There's a massive difference between all of them that you don't realise. And speaking of clothing, if you could only wear one piece of clothing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I honestly would say a blazer.
Yeah,
like that's what comes to my head straight away. Like I am obsessed with blazers.
I'm with you on that one.
I really am. Like over the year blazers, dresses, oversized blazers, blazers with jeans and a crop top, blazer over a shirt.
Cropped blazers.
Cropped blazers, best thing ever invented.
Yeah.
Fabulous with a baggy jean. Like honestly, blazers are the best things. And I was chatting to someone when I was in Paris, and she went to me, oh, I don't really wear blazers.
You're like, we can't be friends.
But how? How? Why? What? When? How?
Explain this concept to me.
I honestly feel like they are the best things ever, but I guess some people might feel like they cover you too much, but I'm like, just cover me. That's fab.
I think it's a good 1 answer for like one piece to have in your wardrobe forever because they're so timeless. It's literally I know will still be in my wardrobe in 20 years.
100%,
like, I'll still
they'll
wear
just
them.
last. Yeah,
It's like the best thing you'll ever spend your money on. So this is actually the last question, which I feel like is a good note to end on.
Okay.
Because obviously everyone's been excited to hear stuff on your life and your career so far, but we want to know what can we expect to see from you in the next year and onwards.
I'd honestly say what comes to my mind first is like I want to explore the content created, the influencing more. Like I do feel like I've enjoyed it so much more this past year. Like I'm actually enjoying creating content. So I feel like I definitely want to explore that more, and I would love to get booked on that side of things more, you know, and I feel like that could be really rewarding for me over the next year. I'm currently kind of in talks with my agency about, you know, like maybe going abroad for work and stuff like that. You know, I've been here in Manchester for so long, like, and like, you know, I've worked with a lot of amazing brands, and I think that's something that I know me and my booker would like to, my model booker would like to look at doing is, you know, branching out. But yeah, I feel like I've got a couple of ideas going on. I've got an idea that I'd love to share, but I'm not gonna. But like, there's a couple of things that I've got in my mind that I'm like, God, that is something that I would love to do. Like, you know, I'd love to have something of my own that I can, you know, put a little bit of time aside, and when I am a little bit quieter, like you can kind of pick up more of that. And I think it's hard to say, isn't it? But I'd like to say a lot more influencing, and then maybe just some new ventures. A lot of travelling. It's hard. Like I honestly,
in this industry from
like that. And I said this to my model booker the other day. I'm so happy with my life. Like I honestly feel so grateful for everything that I've got, and I'm so content. And you know, I think as much as there's always this stigma about, you know, don't get comfortable and stuff like that, I think I am comfortable and I'm so happy.
I think there's a massive difference between getting comfortable and appreciating where you are.
Oh my God,
we don't, as a generation,
we're always like, what's next?
We never
what about now?
sit and reflect on how great this moment is, because you're always thinking about the next thing. And that was basically one of my New Year's resolutions this year, was actually just appreciate the moment that you're in, because otherwise you'll never be actually genuinely happy.
And I think like getting older now, like older, but you know, I'm getting older than like 18, 19, 20, and I think like, you know, things come into my head that's like, okay, like, you know, I want to have money for a house and kids and future, so you start looking at like things in like more of a business way of like, right, okay, how can I fund my life like in the future? You know, I want to be able to have kids in the way future, but, and you know, be so comfortable that, you know, we can still travel and explore, and but then still be so happy in your career. And I think there's so many things that like when you get to our age you start panicking about, which is so silly. I'm so happy in what I have now, and you know, I wouldn't be unhappy if this just continues. You know, opportunities coming up, me doing the modelling, the influencing, like there's always new things around the corner, and I think I'd love a lifetime of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I have got new ventures, and I always have these new ideas. It's just kind of having the time to actually do them.
You almost, we were talking about this the other day, you almost need one thing to slow down, as much as that might be scary. When something else slows down, it gives you this amazing opportunity and motivation to then put your energy into something else. And I think that's when your life starts taking off in different areas.
Definitely.
You can become a busy fool sometimes. You know, my granddad's always said to me, anyone can be a busy fool. You could work yourself into the ground. But you need to, at some point, you know, make decisions about the future. And
almost step out and think, right, okay, one, am I happy, and all stuff like that as well comes into these amazing opportunities that I've got and stuff. I just think, you know, long may it continue. Thanks for having me on here. Like, I'm sorry, but how amazing it made it. Like, I'm like, you've just been unreal. Like, this has been so fun and so nice.
Swallow me up.
I'm so excited to like watch all like the next ones that come up, and I've had a little insight of people that I know Maisie wants to get on next, and I'm excited already to see like
I'm really
where this goes.
I know, I'm really glad that we got to have you on as the first guest. It's been I think it was just the right thing to do. It was perfect. So thank you for taking the time as well. And yeah, I'll keep everybody updated on the next guest that's coming on is another really exciting one. So I'll keep you all updated. Please like and subscribe and comment on these videos if you want to see them, because I want to make more of these and add value in any way that I can. So give me any feedback that you've got. Let me know about any guests that you want to see. I'm really excited to get loads more people on that you guys are interested in seeing, that can add value to you, give you some advice. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
It's done. He's done.